Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight I am back in the BaltiMORE, the Tier 7 American cruiser, and I'm going to show you a little bit about being a cruiser driver. Now, I say driver, it's terrible. But anyway, so we're starting off in the first match here. It's going to be kind of a compilation here with two different videos. One is going to be a full match, the other one is going to be a partial match. This is the partial match. We're starting out, we're right against an Atlanta right off the bat. And we get 4,000 damage on the first salvo. We get a nice hit on him again. And this Atlanta, as much as he has good fire rating guns, like at this kind of range, he is hopelessly outgunned. And he knows it. I can eat him up before he can ever dig in to do any damage. That being said, I know that there's a Fletcher over there. And so I try to get some shots on the Fletcher. It's armor piercing, I know, but I didn't want to dump into high explosive because I'm still fighting the Atlanta. But if I can get a couple shots to hit him... Oh, we didn't hit him. But you never know until you try. But we know he's there. And that's going to come in big later. Now, one of the things I mentioned in yesterday's video with the Nuremberg was that you've got to be aware of your surroundings and what you can do to help your team. The cruiser is the best team helper in the game. It's got mobility, it's got guns, some of them have torps. I mean, the things are absolutely a necessity on the ocean here. And they are so good. They have so much good equipment and stuff to help your friends. Now, that being said, we are in a fight with the Atlanta. The Atlanta does have torps, but he's outside his range. There's nothing in range of him to torps, so there's no reason for me to pop my hydroacoustic. So we're going to hold on to it for now. We get another shot out at the Atlanta. Are we going to finish him? Nope. Oh, yes. Yes, we get the Citadel finally to finish him off. And now we have an Iowa way out there. But, you know, we have a destroyer on our team. Now that we've got the Atlanta out of the way, that frees up the destroyer to go do his thing against the Iowa. We also have a battleship here with us. But my next priority is to deal with that Fletcher. I know that there's an Iowa out there, but he's not my priority right now. My priority is get that Fletcher off the board. So I immediately beeline towards him. We get him spotted. We go ahead, put some rounds. He immediately takes off, which is good for him, bad for me because I didn't count on him to take off. I popped my my radar too soon. That was a mistake because now he's going to smoke up. My radar goes out. He goes away, and now I can't see him. Now I've got to play a very dangerous game with him. And this is basically cat and mouse on steroids, because the price of being wrong is death. And I don't want to die. I got 38,000 hit points. I don't want to die. So I'm very carefully getting close. Now I have my hydros still running for the next 40 seconds. So I know when he fires his torpedoes. But I want to flush him out. So I start looking, you know, where I think he might be. I pull the trigger, and that immediately causes him to take off. Not that I was close to him, but because he thinks he can get the jump on me before I get my guns reloaded. Bad news is, he was wrong. So we get a nice salvo on him, 203mm high explosive from this close. No dispersion to worry about, and absolutely wreck him. Now we start turning towards the torpedoes because we know there's a gap. We get through the first gap. Are we going to make the second gap, or are we going to take a torp? Looks like we're fine, guys. We managed to avoid all of the torpedoes thanks to hydroacoustic. Our hydroacoustic runs out right as the torpedoes get close to us. Our destroyer finishes off the Iowa, and that frees up this side of the map. Now, on to the main game. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's not the glorious play. Sure, anybody would love to take a 203mm high armor-piercing value ship and Citadel the crap out of an Iowa. That's easy. But sometimes you got to make the team play and get rid of destroyers. That's cruisers' job number one. Get rid of destroyers. Show your team where torpedoes are. Do not give yourself up to be shot immediately. Like, just play safe in a cruiser. You know that you're vulnerable. Unlike a destroyer, you can't take hits. Every time you get hit in a cruiser, it's a potential Citadel. And you have to play it that way. So that being said, we're on Neighbors. Now, Neighbors is not the best map for the BaltiMORE, because the BaltiMORE likes to be distance, but not visible, preferably, if you're going for damage. So I make the play early to go to A. This is domination. I know that B is a death trap. If I go into B, I'm a cruiser. I can be spotted from so far away. Everything is going to ruin me. It's not preferable. So I start sailing away from the enemy to try to put some space between us to hopefully get outside of everybody's detection range. But I'm going to keep firing my guns, so that doesn't really do me any good to get outside their detection range when I just keep firing the guns. However, that salvo was pretty solid, and we managed to citadel the Miyoko. We have a hipper over here going to the left with us, so we're going to go ahead and try to put some rounds on him. We're leading him a little high because it looked like he might be sailing away from us. We have 8,600 damage right now, and we did nothing. We hit him, but we did nothing. Not preferable. But, again, being able to help your team as best you can. Now, I haven't used any of my consumables, and there it is, the citadels through the top of the ship, plunging fire, and down he goes. When you're at over 14 kilometers in the BaltiMORE, if you have, like, all of the armor-piercing buffs that you can, it is disgusting how much this thing can citadel heavily armored targets, let alone lightly armored targets. Because you're not shooting the like straight through the ship. You're going through the top of the ship. And it's deadly. But this Atlanta goes in front of the island for God knows why. I don't know why. But we're going to put some rounds on him and show him that we appreciate it. And there's another citadel taking him down to below half health. And we're going to continue to get him out of the game because Atlantas are frustrating for everybody. And when I have a 203mm cruiser, I love to delete Atlantas because Atlantas are used to you overpinning with your battleships. That's what they thrive on when they're in the ocean, when they're in the open is what I mean. So if they're counting on you to overpin and you only have 203mm rounds, you're not overpinning most of the time. It's not pretty for an Atlanta caught in front of 203mm guns. They're big enough to hurt you and they're small enough not to overpin. It's very disgusting. But that being said, we have an Iowa over here. Or no, it's Colorado. I thought it was an Iowa. Could have swore it was an Iowa. It's been a while since I played this match. And by a while, a couple hours. But Colorado is there. We know that we can citadel the Colorado from 14 kilometers. We're slightly inside that range. But we can still citadel the Colorado. So it doesn't matter. Apparently we can still citadel him, so we're going to keep citadeling him. The problem is, we're in a very dangerous position because he has bigger guns than us, and we are very susceptible to being citadeled by those guns. 16-inch guns will hurt this thing hard, especially broadside on, which I am giving him. But we're hurting him a lot faster than he hurt us because he shot high explosive and missed. And we're not missing because he's a big target. Big, fat, slow-moving, heavy target. But he throws the brakes on and managed to avoid the most of them. And just as he gets behind the island, I'm like, okay, he's not going to be shooting at me anymore. Oh, God, he's shooting at me. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Time to deal with the hipper. So, I don't know if the hipper still keeps the 150s. I haven't looked that far ahead. But I know that he's got at least 150s. So I've got to be careful. I'm angling away from him so that we ain't got to worry about his armor-piercing citadeling us, preferably. Then another Atlanta shows up, and we're like, oh, might as well take a target of opportunity and wait for it. What am I doing? Oh, this is the point where I needed to mute some people. Oh, that's so bad. Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to take... wait for it. Instantly goes into menu, and you don't see what happened. Such a troll. Trolled myself. That's terrible. But the hipper has decided, this ain't worth it. There's too much firepower over here. It ain't worth it for him. But... our team has almost capped B. That's a huge strategic move. If we can get B, then we win this game most likely, because B is the most strategic zone on this map. It's the hardest one to cap, so if you cap it, it generally stays capped. And then if we cap this zone after we drive all of these guys out of it, then there's nothing they can do. They're going to have to kill us all. And we have the manpower advantage right now. That being said, somebody is trying to take that away from me, but we're not going to let him, because this hipper, after driving or sailing away for so long, has decided to grow a pair and come back and face me. And by face me, I mean face me and half my team. So, as you may expect, this isn't going to go well for him. He thinks his armor is going to do enough, and unfortunately for him, that is not the case. Because now he's giving broadside 203mm very good armor-piercing rounds. Wait for it. Come on, baby. Yes! Nice hits. Not a lot of damage, but we broke some stuff, and we got nice damage on him, and now he is being rained on by an Atlanta. He's being shot by half my enemy, or half of my team, and I'm about to be loaded again. We got some more hits on him, taking our damage up to 77,000. We're about to unload again, and are we going to get the kill? Come on, baby. No! They got it first. Miyoko managed to citadel him right in time to keep us from getting that. Unfortunate. But King George, on the other hand, says, please, shoot me. And as we've already seen, we can definitely citadel this guy, because we citadeled a Colorado, and a Colorado has much better armor than he does. So, we're going to try and see if we can citadel him. We've got armor piercing loaded, and come on. Oh, nope. Friendly's got him first. Scharnhorst. Darnhorst. Alright, so there's 3 enemies left. We've done pretty well holding this side of the map, being aggressive enough to drive the enemies away, yet not so aggressive to get obliterated, which is pretty good. This ship can be very tanky. I mean, when you think about it, it's got 42,000 hit points. It's got decent armor, as long as you're not close to battleships. Battleships will ruin you at close range. It's just a thing. At long range, you have a chance to avoid their fire, and so that's preferable. But at closer range, what are you doing? Speaking of battleships, turn! Turn, battleship, turn! Hard to starboard. Dag nabbit. We rammed him so hard that we actually turned his ship. You gotta love it. Now, that could be either of our fault. I wasn't paying attention to him. He wasn't obviously paying attention to anything. I don't know what he was doing. Maybe he's making a sandwich. I don't know. He was chasing ghosts is what he was doing. The Atlanta was the only thing in that direction, and he was well beyond the island at this point. So I'm not exactly sure what he was doing. But it doesn't matter. No harm, no foul. Neither of us got shot in the process. The Atlanta is very close to death. Never mind, he's dead. And that leaves an Akatsuki. Hello, Akatsuki. Now, notice as soon as the Akatsuki got spotted, I'm about to pop my Hydra. It's about to come off cooldown. We used it a while back against the German cruiser. And now we're going to pop it again, and we're going to pop sonar just in case he decides to smoke up. And unfortunately for him, he doesn't even get the chance to do that. As we... Oh, how did we not kill him right there? Oh, the dispersion got us. And the enemy, and the friendlies are going to finish him off. Oh, wait, they haven't. Never mind. Darn it. Trolls. Trolls everywhere. But again, we have 6 citadels in this match. We have 84,000 damage, 2 kills. We've done everything we can to help the team as best we can. And now it's time to farm some damage off of the Colorado. Now at this range, we know that we can citadel him. We had already citadeled him at 11 kilometers earlier in the match. Or at least we citadeled the other Colorado earlier in the match. So we're just going to keep firing armor piercing at him and see what sticks. I mean, honestly, it's working, so why change it, right? And now I'm going to get brave. I'm going to start turning to get the rear guns involved, because he's obviously not worried about me, so I'll just go ahead and turn broadside on in front of him. You can already see where this is going, I know it. Don't get ahead of me. You can see where this is going. We citadel him almost through the front of his ship. That's disgusting. How does that citadel him? But it doesn't matter. We finish him off. Well, we don't. The enemy. The friendlies. Good God. I don't know the difference between enemies and friendlies. But then again, it's World of Warships. So I guess there's not much of a difference between enemies and friendlies. But we end up with 98,000 damage. Top of the leaderboard. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. It's been a while since we had a BaltiMORE replay. This one's not all screwed up. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button. Leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, I will see you in the next video.